Hey, good evening, everyone. I decided to do a Wednesday, partly because I wanted to announce that Thursday we have on Jim Massa, Science Guy, Science Talk, and Jennifer Hines. And this show should be pretty good. The two of them, oh my gosh, they have so much in common, and I think it's going to be a great show. That's tomorrow night. So what did I get you with, guys? Let's see who's in the chat. Did I get you with the cover? Climate change equals human extinction? Well, I'll tell you what got me. And hello, Scott and Kim and hello, everybody. Whoever's with us. Off the cuff show tonight. Oh, hi. No, Poppy, I didn't make another gnarly video. Not tonight. I didn't have time. I was out today. And because I was out today, I got pictures. So tonight's kind of like picture night. I have a couple of videos from yesterday. That yesterday's show I forgot to show you. And I have pictures of the garden. You know, it's just kind of I wanted to make sure my mic too. I want to check my audio. When I see the red on the sound thing that shows me, then I'm too loud. I cringed. Yesterday's video was cringeworthy. The sound. There was nothing I could do. I downloaded it and redid the sound, and I tried to upload it, but it was terrible. Hey, Kate. Hi, Kate. Welcome. So, what got me with the cover, with the human extinction cover tonight, was I went to my doctor today, and I'm not going to know nothing about this doctor, it's just we were talking, and his one of the people in his office follows the channel and the Facebook. And so we talk about it, and what the conversation ended up was him asking me about his kid. His kid is 8 years old. And him asking me, is it my kid's kids? Is it my kid? You know, about time, about climate change and all that. Now I'm not clear. Turn it up. Oh my God, this is so annoying. And so that's what got me thinking, wow, how do you answer someone like that? So what I did was I said, well, you know, we have several million problems called species, but I didn't go like that. I said to him, your son will have to grow up in a world where he's being prepared. Okay. Test. Bad shield connection on mic line. What does that mean? And I'm going to get this fixed, no matter how shitty this broadcast is. I want to tell my story, though. What do you tell people? When you know, and when you do what I do, what do you tell people? What do you tell them? So I tell them, your son needs to be educated in preparing, survival skills, how to do things with his hands. He's 8. What is this kid going to see in 20 years? What can I say to his father, my doctor, who I love dearly, about what to expect in 20 years? Okay, the mic is picking up a hum. That's what I want to know. You tell me if that mic is still picking up a hum. That is what I want to know now. Mic is picking up mains hum slightly. I'm wondering if it's the headset or if it's the phone that I have on that keeps, that I can see, you know, my very non-professional place. Okay, now it sounds good. See, I'll tell tomorrow and then I'll cringe and go, oh my God, listen to me. So, hi, Fiesta. Oh my God, kill me now. Fiesta's in San Francisco. Fiesta's been living in a hellish nightscape. Fiesta lives in... I want her to move here with me. I've opened to her. I said, you have to move here. I want her to move here. I want everybody to move here with me. I want to have an intentional community of all of you. Okay. Now, I heard that noise. I heard it. It's when I get the listen. I think it's when I get the headset too close. Oh my God, technology. All right, guys, you keep telling me how I sound as I tell my story. So, Rich says kids are going to have to adapt if possible. Yes. But it just takes me to another thing. I want to teach. Gazer says wiggle the plug mic about. Wiggle plug. You guys just making a serious situation here. Funny. Yes, I know Fiesta. She wants to move here. If I had money, if I was one of those people that had money and not one of those people that had to try to sell jewelry today so I could pay my school taxes at the end of the month, I would have an intentional community, and I'd have it here. There is so much land for sale, cheap, with old Amish houses and barns, and I don't have fucking thing. I mean, I couldn't even sell my jewelry because they want to give me shit. Yet they told me you should sell it on your own, like I was trying before the pandemic. My God. So, Poppy, you're saying careful, Sandy Hubs and I want to move. Well, I want to keep it a secret that it's so great here. But remember, though, it's Trump country here. And that was another thing I wanted to talk about. Climate Marcher. Hi, John. He says, you're fine, Sandy. It's just a buzz. Something we're all about anyway. It's such a buzz. Yeah, okay. All right. As long as I don't see red in my little thing there, I think I'm okay. 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 So anyway, so we're going from what I talk about to this man who absolutely knows things that are going on about his 8-year-old son. And I think, it's all about preparation, which parents are not doing. And they need to do, because we have a climate denier in chief. So we have how much of the country that walks around in their own little bubble. And I was listening to something very interesting. I listened to Mike Malloy, and tonight on the way home, because it takes me forever to drive home, and I stop on the side of the road a lot, and I take pictures. What was I going to say? Okay, so I was listening to Mike Malloy, and it was kind of scary because he was talking about what's going to happen, what's coming up, what we are looking forward to in our fascist nation, and it's not cool. And how do you tell someone that? Rick Larson's here. If I tell people, I don't know for sure, but it would be wise to plant a garden. That's about all their brain can handle most of the time. Guess what, Rick? The gal that's the nurse in the office, every time I go there, she comes running in to tell me about her garden. I inspired her to plant a garden this year. And this time she taught me, we've taught each other. She had got a tree, and she got fruit from the tree for the first time. And she was ecstatic. And so we were sharing our discussion of things like gardens. And that's a while back. Everything's almost ready to be picked. And we were, oh, wait, that's an old picture. Wait. I didn't set it up really well. That's tomatoes. These tomatoes are already processed and canned. I have so many more to come. Oh, my God. But you're right, Rick. It's gardens. It's all about gardens. So that's a good way to discuss the things you're going to need for the future, that kids have to be tactile, If Rick says excellent, then that's pretty cool, because he is like the master permaculture gardener of all time. Oh my gosh. Rick is the best, and he has a great channel. You guys got to check him out. And Rick, you should come on the show with me. Fiesta, I have nice teeth. You're so funny. I have nice teeth. They look nice on camera, but I always think they're yellow and raggedy. And I used to have those things here. I looked like a vampirist when I was young, before I got them down. I could send off boxes of vegetables for money. No, I just grow enough for us. The farmers markets around here do that. We have lots of those. And, oh, Jilly, how are you? I love gardening if I could talk about it all night. Yeah, it is. It's fun to talk about it. And it's fun to, share those pictures. I don't even know what I have with me. This was tonight on the way home, by the way. I stop everywhere and take footage and pictures. This is a country road. This is on my way home. And it was just amazing. And this dude was mowing his lawn, and I'm standing in the middle of the road taking pictures. I really want something more than just a damn iPhone. But look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? That is really gorgeous. I thought I'd share tonight amidst talking about collapse and what do you... that's not ready yet either. Damn it. I wanted to show you the actual garden, but that's what it did look like. But now we've picked a lot, but it was all red, with tomatoes, and it's much bigger than that. But this is the garden that in between the rows, and that had a lot of weeds. It got weeded by my rent-a-son, but that's where I lay down on the garden mat. And so for somebody disabled, you can do this. Okay. Hello, unapologetic vegan. This is a great group tonight. I'm really happy I did this. Maybe if I can pull this off on Wednesdays without having to think I've got to plan a big thing, Hey, Andy. He's descended from a long line of tomato growers. I'm going to say it in your language, Andy. Okay. I'm descended from a long line of tomato growers. No, that's Australian. Sorry. I ruined the British. I ruined it. Okay, what else do I have for you tonight? Besides talking about what to say to this man about his son, and then listening to Mike Malloy, who scared the living shit out of me tonight about fascism and the history. And he did. Actually, Mike Malloy had a live a show where he read an Umar Haque article, and Umar Haque grew up in Pakistan and understands fascism and how fascism comes to us, comes to you when you're not looking, when it's easy for people to say, well, I want my kids to grow up in privilege, so I'm going to vote for Donald Trump and not tell anybody. It was just it was haunting. Mike Malloy is pretty good. I've been listening to him for a long time. He's virulently anti-Trump because he knows the guy. So, anyway, there's a few air bubbles in there. And those of you that can, that's really freaking annoying. And you try to get the air bubbles out. Like, I'm going to have more tomato. I'm going to become a tomato. Okay, here's some more from today. Oh, these guys. These are my neighbors. Aren't they just absolutely gorgeous? 2 draft horses. And these are so healthy. There's a baby. And they're all very diverse. And they get along. These are my diverse neighbors. They get along very well for being as diverse. There's white ones. And there's black ones. And there's brown ones. And they were very happy to be together. I wish it was like that in the United States. I wish that the United States wasn't on the verge of, like Hambone says, a civil war. I wish we didn't have somebody that's in our White House, spurring this on. I wish. That's like using the word hope. Right? What'd you say, Kim? As long as my cans don't pop, I'm good. Yeah, they're not popping. No popping. Hi, EM, my buddy. My nurse buddy. Oh, yeah. What else do I have to show you? Okay, before we go into a little more discussion, I'm going to show you one of the videos that I forgot to show you yesterday.
I appreciate the voters for Trump. Every weekend I see it, not even weekends now, they're doing it during the week. And I just wish I had time. I'd get on one of those boats and I'd be carrying a flag also. But I have to say, it looks like you're having a good time. I see that, and the whole world is watching. You people are fantastic. Your spirit, your strength, and you get it. You know what you're doing. So go out and have a lot of fun and celebrate. And the big thing is November 3rd, get out and vote. We can't let the radical left take over this country. They'll raise your taxes by 3 to 4 times. They're looking at 90% rates, 90, 95, and they won't be able to afford that. They need 300%. These people are crazy. Holy crazy. We have to stop it.
We're in the great outdoors. We got plenty of space. Nobody was crowded together. It was probably the best avenue and venue we could have for a rally.
I appreciate.
Okay. That was a good one. I thought it was about the boat people. Man, I will say one thing. Where I live, you pass the Trump flags and the Trump signs, and I really want to have something made for my house. But I put Tracy Matrano's sign up because I love her, and she's running for Congress here. And she ran in 2018, and I did a lot more than I am this time. This time I'm really limited as far as sitting at headquarters or anything. Oh, by the way, I got a new back brace today. Look, that's really cool. And it's great. It feels a whole lot better than the other one. Yeehaw! So I have that sign up. And I have my pro-America, America flag anti-Trump sign up. And so far, nobody has thrown anything in my house. It's fairly quiet. Oh, here's one for you guys. I pulled up. This is how I feel about him. He had a town hall meeting. See, I'm obsessed. He had a town hall meeting. And he was really put on the spot. He's such a liar. How does anybody believe him? And, I will say, I want to ask people that support Trump, specifically a relative of mine put on her Facebook page, "I'm with Trump." And so I wrote back and I just said, could you specify what policies that you're with? Crickets. Nothing. What policies do these people like? That's what I like to know. It certainly, is it the environmental policies? He has none. He's rolling back every regulation. And that was another thing I thought about today that I wanted to get out. When I was a kid, growing up, it was before the EPA really was anything. And it was when you could drive down from where I lived in Yonkers to the Bronx, and you could see the buildings belching out smoke, smoke, smoke. You could see on the down the FDR Drive, you could see the water was dirty and disgusting. And there was a transition over my lifetime. Now, I moved away, and I ended up in Buffalo, where I have an article about a real moron that I'm embarrassed to say went to the same school, and I worked at the university system. But I can't imagine these younger people, and boy, they have it hard. What a fucked up world to be really young in. And they grow up and they don't remember the pollution. They don't remember how bad it was. They don't remember the belching smoke. They don't remember any of it. So they don't think about these policies until it's going to be too late. When we're going to see the belching of the smokestacks, when we're going to see all of these waterways polluted. This is what's going to happen, and they've not seen that. Just like they don't, a lot of young people don't understand the history of fascism. And even, with this Antifa and the whole 9 yards, it's just really awful that humanity just seems to be vicious historically, authoritarian historically. I mean, guillotines, kings and queens, beheaded, all of that. The young people don't see it, but we are headed for it. We are definitely headed for it. We're going to lose our democracy. And, I really have a bad feeling about it. So, on a lighter note, here's a picture. I want you all to look at this picture of these clouds and tell me, what does this picture look like to you? What does this sky look like to you? This guy is cute, huh? What do you think? What do you think? I'm going to leave it up for a couple of minutes as I talk. Fiesta says she remembers that. We had to close our windows every day at 2 p.m. when they did the incinerators. Black snow. The incinerators in the buildings. The apartment buildings. My family lived in apartment buildings. And yes, the incinerators. I'll never forget it. Oh my God. That's a memory, right? Come home. Come home, Fiesta. Come up here with me. I'm adopting you. Andrew says, when I was 12 years old, I spoke with Nixon and told him his EPA plan was going to engulf our lives. What does that mean? Engulf our lives, Andrew? When I was 12 years old, I spoke with Nixon and told him his EPA plan was going to engulf our lives. I do think at the time Nixon was kind of forced to do what he did. People say he was the big environmentalist, but he was getting pressured. And it was a good thing that he did. Okay, let's see. Winnie the Pooh, Pooh Bear. Winnie the Pooh. I have such a lag. It's cute. Kim says, Pooh. It's a bear. It's sweet, huh? Oh, man. Yeah, Rick, you got it. Okay, well, nobody actually wins, but that was what I wanted to do and get you guys. It is a cloud, Jilly. It is a cloud. Mia says, what were they incinerating? Garbage. Mia, these buildings, every big apartment building, they still have them. They incinerate the garbage, but back when I was a kid, there were no filters. There was no filtration systems on the garbage. There was no I don't know what else. I really like that picture. Kind of want to leave that up for a minute. So you would see it was just raw, polluted smoke. And the things that you breathed in New York State anyway, up and down, even in Buffalo. Buffalo had Bethlehem Steel. Very little regulations. People died of cancer. In Buffalo, the cancer rates are still terrible. Superfund sites all over. And what's going to happen is, well, along with the climate changing so fast, abrupt climate change, we'll see in the next 4 years if this guy stays in. I think we're going to see a reversal of some things unless companies decide to keep going with their filtration systems and their cleanliness as much as they can on their own. I don't know. And Fiesta, yes, she says now they do compacting much more. Hey, Vanessa Kitty. Burnt trash and garbage in our yards instead of using a dump. Well, that's another thing. The dump here where I live, they want 100 more acres. And I think it's all about money. And in fact, I was supposed to go to the meeting tonight and film it, but I was going to be late because I came home from the doctor's late and I dilly-dally on the way because I have to stop. Ed, we lived in the country. We burned our trash in a barrel in the yard. When we went back to take care of my dad's house after they passed away, we couldn't rent a dumpster. People still burn trash. Sure they do. Out here where I live, they do. We don't burn trash, but my husband, he'll burn refuse. And a lot of the time it's stuff I compost, but he doesn't do it very often because usually I scream at him and I say, put it in the compost, don't burn it. But we do like to have campfires. But think about a campfire, or a fire like that would be in my backyard. multiply that by exponential amounts, and that's what you had going up and down the FDR Drive between Westchester County and New York City, the belching buildings and the apartments and all that. And rolling back all of these EPA regulations could potentially bring that back. And we already have the fires belching out all this, and we don't even know what's going to happen in Australia. Hey, Chris Foster. Hi. You're it's late for you, or early. Vanessa, you had 4 cases of the bacteria that eat your flesh by infecting you at the beach. They thought it could not be up here in Long Island Sound due to the temperatures. Oh my. I have a cousin that had it. Necrotizing disease, whatever it is. It's a staph. Does it start with staph? Oh, geez. Some people on the outskirts of Gettysburg burning plastic, they do that here. There's a campground not far from me where we used to have a camp, and we had a camp before we moved here. People used to just put all their weekend shit and burn it. That's still going on. Bye, Chris. Thanks for coming. Thank you for coming. That's great. All right. Well, I have another one. This one I didn't show yesterday either. So let's take a break and let's watch this one.
Well, we don't quite know how, but he's president now. He's a moron. He'll look straight at the sun till the eclipse is done. He's a moron. Staff will sing, he's a ding-a-ling, ding-a-ling-a-ling, he's a ding-a-ling. So much drama. And when something goes wrong, he just tweets out the stone blame Obama. When the country's in flames, he just plays racist games. He's a moron. He'll be spewing his lies while he's serving up fries. What a moron. And he says, no, 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 there was no quid pro quo. He's a moron. GOP, can't you see, in Washington, D.C., he's a moron. He's got to die, you claim COVID's a lie, he's a moron.
And it is what it is.
He'll tell us to drink bleach while he's making his speech, such a moron. He will boast that his crowd's the most, but they're kinda gross, really kinda gross at his rally. He'll deny thousands more will die, but he'll never cry, never ever cry at the tally. He acts like an ass and he won't wear a mask, he's a moron. He'll espouse hateful views when he goes on Fox News, bunker boy. You use tear gas and cops just for dumb photo ops. He's immoral. VAG-GOP, well, let him off scot-free. He's a moron. Such a moron.
I'm a very stable genius.
I absolutely love that Hambone Littletail uses that when I first found him, how he used the term clueless fucking moron, because man, that's such an apt term for so much and so many, you know? Jim says, don't forget it's going to get cooler. Donald Trump explaining how climate change will end. Oh my gosh. And Jim does his Gettysburg Address every Friday. And now, Jim, you have a channel on YouTube. So are you uploading your videos to YouTube, right? Mm-hmm. Well, I have a lot of fun doing this crap. So I do. Finding the videos. And I have one more picture. Now, this was literally, I think no, that's not it. This was on Facebook. Wait a minute. I'll find it. And it was actually someone I've known for a long time. It was in Facebook. You have this place where you can post, I don't know, just post pictures. So this is what he posted. And I will put this up for you all to see. Can you see it? And we will going back for the worst when President Donald Trump doesn't capital win the election. I'm praying Trump and Prince to get another 4 years of great America. I know you hate this, I think, Andy. Andy, I think you hate it. I didn't make it that loud, the sound effects. So you could see this, right? Now, as far as I know, there's nothing wrong with him. But I was kind of like, oh, okay, so Trump does like the uneducated. And there's nothing wrong with this guy. Just doesn't know the language. And he doesn't know the vice president's name. He wants Trump and Prince. Well, Prince is no longer with us, unfortunately. All right, guys. This has been... Oh, Eric Prince. Yeah, Eric Prince. Good one. Good catch, Boiled Rope Lamppost. Good catch. Chris Mann does great song parody videos. If I had enough time, I mean, if you would sit with me, I would look for one, but I haven't. I have to download them. I can't play anything from YouTube that you will hear. I haven't figured that one out yet. So as long as we're here now, and I'm going to go another couple of minutes, I'm going to pull up something here. Okay. I don't know. Basically, it's the guy was from Buffalo. That's what got me, this Michael Caputo. I was in the store today getting a coffee refill in my refillable coffee cup. I never have those coffee cups that you buy because it's more garbage and I feel really guilty. But this guy, it seemed like, went on a paranoid rant. But the specific thing about him is he's a top spokesperson at the Health and Human Services, which is a huge job. And he had been interfering with scientific reports about COVID-19 from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. So on Sunday, he posted a really bizarre paranoid video on Facebook claiming he might be assassinated by seditious forces. Oh, my God. This is a microcosm of what a second Trump term will probably look like. No clear legislative agenda, but unqualified political hacks occupying top offices in the executive branch from which they kneecap the efficient functioning of the federal government and spread misinformation and conspiracy theories. I never in my life thought I would be here. This dude worked for Oliver North. That's prestigious. But it's Bizarro Land. Bizarro Land. And he's a crook. to boot. He's a crook, of course. Of course he's a crook. But that wasn't really... I wasn't going to do too much on this one. I had some articles on fascism, and I don't think I want to go through all this tonight. It was all the things that went on during the day. And Kevin had on his show, he was talking about eco-fascism. So I found an article from 2018 on the ideology mirroring environmentalism and white supremacy thriving online. So my brain doesn't stop. The fascism is interesting to me. It's not going to be interesting to me when this is our country. but it's interesting to me to understand and learn about it. And this was a good article. I'm not going to read the whole thing. I'm not even going to read it at all. In fact, it's just one I will put in there. So if you want to read it, you can. If our anti-fascism is serious, we need to be concerned about fascist social and political movements. But they also explain it. They're not just saying, oh my gosh, it's one way. It's a good article. Politicians who target Muslims, atheists, gays, and women's choices over abortion and birth control are seeking to limit freedom, ultimately targeting the basis of a democratic culture. That is really how I feel. And I think that's it. Targeting our democratic culture. It's just happening. Jim says the climate change denier now in charge of NOAA. It's awful. Rich said Caputo is another one of Trump's completely, unqualified for their post. Exactly. And you can sit and say, okay, we're so fucked anyway because of ABCD, as in climate change, in species extinction, in environmental devastation, in growing economy, keep growing. I mean, Joe Biden talks about infrastructure, and infrastructure is just more concrete and more building. It's a vicious circle. It is completely a vicious circle. Hey, Mr. Troglodyte, welcome. Andy says global warming denying Trumpers are going to have problems with the eco part of fascism, but they'll like all the rest of it, won't they? Won't they? Rick, I think basic fascists are those who use government laws to protect their business model and enhance profits. Yeah, I like that. That's basic. Yeah, that's basic fascists. And that's what's happening. Maybe it's always been here in some sort of a way. Yeah, well, this one, I just thought, let's look at that eco-fascism one. I guess I'm just kind of like, I'm interested. I didn't read the whole thing all the way through, but it's like it does marry what's going on in a way. Some of these people, I could see the eco part in that they're conservation thinking. Well, let's see if there's something really good in this. They didn't want to talk to this. This paper was called New Statesman, this publication, and there wasn't much here, but eco-fascists have put the well-being of our earth, nature, and animal on the forefront of their ideology. It's someone who has also turned away from industrial and urbanite society, seeking a more close to the earth way of life. So where does it throw in the rest? The seemingly benign focus expresses itself as an ideology that embraces and combines modern-day neo-Nazism with environmentalism and a belief that going back to ancient geographical roots is the answer to society's biggest problems. Eco-fascists believe that living in the original regions a race is meant to have originated in, and shunning multiculturalism is the only way to save the planet they prioritize above all else. So does that mean that in the United States, the indigenous people really get the country? They get this country, and that everybody else here has to leave and go back to their DNA origins? So if you took a DNA in me or DNA test, and you can now trace where you have to go back if the eco-fascist movement gets into the vogue. Oh my gosh. Chili's saying, Mr. Trog, all the best to you. Cool. Well, good night. Good night. No time for politics now. Really, we don't. It's politics. It's the world. It's our environment. It is the ever wanting thirst for knowledge, really, by all of us, because you joined me. So it has been 40 minutes. We did talk about the eco-fascism, which was Wild. The only other thing I thought I would bring up and just look at to see what was going on was the hurricanes. And it was 42 minutes ago that there was a curfew in Pensacola. So I guess they're getting pretty hammered down there. So we had the fires, we have the hurricane, which is not being, it's not, wasn't a big thing today on much. So I don't know. All I know is I guess I have to search for it. See if the top news has anything. There have been so many hurricanes this year that we're almost run out of names for them. The World Meteorological Organization has 21 designated names for Atlantic hurricanes each year. The only one we have left, Wilfred. And at that note, I think we're going to bid adieu to Twitter. And I'm going to say goodnight to you guys. Just interesting. Interesting. What's Andy right about? Eco-fascism is a meme created by leftists, I think. Can't see them existing in reality. Well, I've never met one. I've never met an eco-fascist. I just got the idea from Kevin's show today when he was reading, and I don't even remember the guy's name. So I found this. And Mia agrees with you. So that's cool. Spurred a little bit of thought. Andy, eco-fascist definition, anyone even mildly concerned with overpopulation. Well, would be an eco-fascist? Overpopulation, I have to process that one. I think we definitely need it. That's a conversation. In fact, on one of the live streams I was or shows I was listening to in the car, it might have been Mike Malloy, who was talking about that overpopulation is something that has to be talked about, but the left, it doesn't even talk about it, and not in a creepy eugenics way, but the way that women should have control of their own destinies. And I'm not even prepared to get into what is talked about, this whole hysterectomy story and all that. I have a lot of questions. I'm sure this doctor wasn't doing this for these women's fibroids or their endometriosis. But my other question is, are they doing mass tubal ligations? Okay, I have no clue, but that was in the news. And I have nothing on that, but it was weird. I'm just for women being in charge of their own person. Young women who've grown up with now childbearing age should be able to say no and should have access to what they want. Young women all over the world. That's right. Their own uteruses. Raphael. Hi, Raphael. If you value nature above humans, you're now an eco-fascist. It really forces you to think about your intentions. We're all angry at humans here on this channel. I don't hate humans. I'm just angry at them. Myself too. I guess it's self-hating. I'm a self-hating human. Snork says we should allow no money to go to any country or organization that bans birth control. Exactly. But the thing is, it's not happening. It's almost the opposite. But that is really good. And overpopulation is real and mostly avoided in polite company. Yeah, what's polite fucking company? Yep. Well, Poppy, you have to watch the hurricanes. She's in the Gulf Coast of Texas. Hey, Patrick McNulty's with us. He said hurricane season will be year-long when Arctic ice is gone. Wow. It's pretty heavy. We know this. It's not even something I can stomach to think about because that's the big issue. That's the issue. That's the issue Jennifer and Jim will be probably talking about tomorrow night. I'm going to host, but it's their gig tomorrow. Okay, what's going on? It's name calling. There's no argument, just divisive talk. Keep on asking about policies and how do we move forward. Okay, who are you answering? Because policies are what I do. I want to ask people, what are your what is the policy that you like about Joe Biden? What is a specific policy that you like? I think that's a better way to engage in a good conversation. M says doomers are self-hating because our knowledge and lack of denial. That's perfect. Jilly, not humans, governments that don't protect. Yeah. Yeah. Well, listen, guys, it's been a great night. I don't have another video. I showed you all of the ones that I had, and I'm pretty sure I shared with you all the pictures I had, and the bear, and the beautiful horses that are diverse. And there are, as I said, all color horses here, and they all seem to love each other. And I think that's a good way to end. I think it would have been nice if in this iteration of the earth, humans would have been lovers, not fighters. Oh, okay, climate marcher. I gotcha. Jilly, if everyone's at fault, then there's no one to blame. But there was someone to blame, government. We'll have to think of another show and how to approach that from an environmental slant. Good night, everybody. Peace out. I'm really happy you guys came. I enjoyed it. Let's do this more often. Like tomorrow night for Jennifer and Jim. It's going to be a good show. Peace out.